Well, that was fast. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the High School Star League's live semifinals. I'm Reseda, joined once again with Crusader Kitten.
Hello.
We are going to be getting into our next match momentarily between Crescenta Valley, can't even say it properly, Reseda High School and...
Oh, Crescenta Valley
Crescenta Valley. It is Crescenta Valley.
I didn't realize that. Because
totally
you already
right.
said Crescenta, man. Anyway, interesting stuff about this team. So the thing is with this is that it is actually a rematch of a quarterfinals game. So what happened here was that, so Glen Eagles secondary, Canadian team, originally was going to be here. That would have been exciting, but instead we're having a little bit more of an exciting situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be a rematch, which is fun.
Rematches are always fun because the teams have
fun.
already played against each other. They're familiar with their picks and play styles.
Yeah.
That obviously means that we could see some targeted bans coming out in just a moment. We can see some very interesting play or counter strategies decided, possibly even practiced team compositions, because these guys know that the enemy team is going to play a certain way.
Yeah. So I guess the story behind it, obviously, it's like weird. It's like, wait a second, if the semifinals team couldn't make it, how come like it's a rematch? Well, what happened was that Glen Eagles secondary couldn't go, but then the team that they beat couldn't go either. So it all came back. Reseda High School is back here, and they're here to play.
I'm sure that they can't be happier.
They want to, yeah. So we actually had an interview with the team. They feel extremely lucky that they're actually able to come back here, try and replay.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is that actually one of their top players was sick during their best of three. Yeah, against Crescenta Valley. So now he's a lot better. He's healthy.
This time they're going to be full strength,
Yeah.
ready to take on Crescenta Valley. And in just a few moments, we're going to go ahead and start into our match. But very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Again, we saw earlier Cerritos High School take a very commanding 2-0 victory over Mission San Jose.
Yeah.
So with some very impressive play.
Yeah.
Yahoo.com, man. He is just, I don't have words.
Yeah, he's just too good. They keep their undefeated streak. And talking about undefeated streaks, actually neither of these teams have undefeated streaks. So to bring up, season stats. So to start out, Crescenta Valley, they came to us from our fall semester at the High School Star League. And they actually went 6-0 losses. Now the thing is with that, it's not as much as other teams, like 13-0 with Cerritos High School. Reseda High School went 11-2. So I guess it's kind of say something about that group, that it was a very, very close group, that they actually went 6-7, and they still got here to the grand final. So it's not like it was a bad group. It was just a very closely matched group. So interesting stats coming in from them.
At the very least, it'll make for a very entertaining game.
Reseda High School went 11 wins to 2 losses in their fall semester as well. So both these guys coming from this fall semester. So they had a little bit of a better record in the season. But in the last best of 3, we saw these two teams in. Crescenta Valley was the one that took the victory 2-1.
Question is, will Crescenta Valley be able to do it again? Taking a 2-1 victory, always very moralizing. And then going back up against the exact same team that you took that 2-1, you've got to be thinking, oh, well, we'll just do the same thing that ended up winning us the series this time around. But Reseda, they're not going to let that happen. If they've made it this far into the bracket, then they certainly have the capability to keep up with Crescenta Valley.
So some more interesting facts, just because we have a lot more time, we can talk about some more interesting facts about these teams. So the first best of 3 we saw, Cerritos High School versus Mission San Jose High School. Those teams, they were actually friends before they started playing League of Legends. They actually started playing, I think, both of them started playing League of Legends together, and they formed a team together that way. They were all friends before it. For these two teams, it's actually completely different. These guys, maybe some of them were friends, not all of them, though. They met from a League of Legends club at their school, formed a team, and here they are, playing live at San Diego. Who would have thought?
You heard it, straight from San Diego. All you need to do is get a group of 4 friends and yourself. And you, too, could be in San Diego, California, sunny San Diego, where the surf is amazing and the League of Legends is even better.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we have so many SoCal teams. 3 SoCal teams came to this competition, and 1 NorCal team, which unfortunately didn't pan out well. But we'll see them in the consolation finals, which will be tomorrow, I believe.
Unfortunately, because we are running behind schedule, we are going to have our consolation match tomorrow and then follow it up with our grand finals match. We already know that Cerritos High School are going to be in that grand finals.
Yeah.
They are the team to beat. Still undefeated. Currently rocking a 15-0 record.
probably even more than that, to be honest. I mean, they played through the fall semester. They played through the winter championships. They played through like the round of 16 and all that. They're insane. They're unstoppable right now. I mean, the last games, they just handily won against their opponent.
Hopefully not unstoppable. Because if they actually are unstoppable, then we may as well call it a tournament. Just here, use your prize money, enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah.
You don't want to be a mouth.
An unstoppable force,
Yes.
meeting an immovable object.
Yes.
Question is, will one of these teams be the immovable object?
Yeah.
The winner of Crescenta Valley and Reseda will have to take on Cerritos tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that is no small feat. Yahoo.com, amazing. How to play in the top lane. Similarly incredible. Decrupt, very, very mobile. Hopefully these guys will be capable of keeping up with the incredible play that we saw earlier.
Yeah. It's really funny, too, because pretty much all the teams consider themselves to be underdogs in this tournament, except for Cerritos High School. Cerritos High School is like, hey, we went undefeated. We're feeling pretty confident. We just don't want to lose the streak. Reseda High School, they had a pretty good reason to be considered underdogs, having lost in the quarterfinal matches. But still, they feel like they can take the victory against Crescenta. But obviously Cerritos is a different task. However, just some more interesting facts about these two teams is that Crescenta Valley High School actually had a female player.
Really?
Yeah, they had a female player in the fall semester. I was told that she has a godly Shen, very good Shen player.
I imagine that Shen would be difficult, though, with the current bugs
for
now, Stand United.
Yeah, now you can't do it. But this was in fall semester, so this was like a half a year ago or so. Obviously, she's not with them now, since I'm talking about her in past tense. I had to drop. She actually graduated early.
Ah.
Yeah, after one semester. That's crazy, right?
It's usually a good thing.
Yeah, I wish I was that smart.
I know.
Yeah.
Intelligence. But I speak too soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in Champion Select for game number 1 between Crescenta Valley and Reseda High School. And hopefully we'll be going through this relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Already, we can see 2 very fast, now already up to 3 bans.
Yeah.
Looks like Morgana and Yasuo being taken away from Noggenwacker and Morta Muerte.
Yeah, well, guess who it is? It's a Lee Sin ban. We've been talking about it. We can talk about this for days. Lee Sin, favorite champion of pretty much every single jungler at the High School Star League. Other bans coming out, Yasuo and Rise. Yasuo being banned away from Noggenwacker. That's his top played champion. And the Rise as well from Tank. He plays an insane amount of Rise, actually, in a lot of his match history. He just plays Rise. He played it twice in the round of 16, once in the round of 8. And he's played it, just a lot in solo queue and all that. So some pretty important target bans coming out. Obviously, these two teams, they know each other. They played against each other before. They realize what they got to take out. So first picks coming up here, though, are going to be the top laner and the jungler for the side of Crescenta Valley High School. They go ahead, pick up a Kayle, one of Flash's favorite champions, as well as Vi, and they actually just locked in Twitch.
The Twitch I like.
Yeah.
Twitch, ever since the 4.10 changes to the AD carry items, he's been a little bit different. Not exactly the most powerful of champions. The Blade of the Ruined King doesn't work too fantastically on him anymore. It's still a powerful item, but it certainly isn't what it was.
It's interesting, actually, because the last time they played Twitch, they actually lost to Reseda High School. That was the last time we have them cited as playing Twitch, and they actually lost that game. But they're going to bring it out. They're like, hey, this is a new game. This time we have Flash on Kayle. Might be a little bit better. We also have a Vi for Lulu Mainunu. Last time he actually had an Elise, and Lulu Mainunu, second favorite champion is Vi. So kind of odd one out. Not like Elise, Lee Sin all the time for once.
It should be pretty entertaining to see, but that's an Irelia locked in.
Yeah.
That's a bit interesting. That's going to be Tang in the top lane taking Irelia. Now, Irelia is a very interesting champion. She's an incredible fighter, a fantastic duelist. She excels in diving into the back line and trying to remove a target rather quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty difficult, though, seeing as Flash has already locked in Kayle, and they've got Killua locking in Lulu.
Yeah, it's like, this Kayle in enemy team, what do you do? So he's just go for an Irelia. He does play quite a bit of an Irelia, has played it twice before in the quarterfinals as well as the round of 16 match. So, I mean, he has played a bit of it. We'll see how he does with it. He's actually had a 50% win rate. And oh, man, if they lock that Urgot in. Oh, okay, they'll be switching around. Let's go ahead and talk about this stuff. They also lock into Corki and Nami in the bottom lane. So Corki, I believe we've seen a bit of. And actually, Just a Good Kid has been playing a lot of Corki games in the past, games he's been playing. So obviously the champion he's been practicing recently on. Looks like we have all the teams locked in.
The Corki is actually rather nice. Being able to use the Valkyrie to position yourself around the battlefield is essential. Corki really needs to get extended engages, firing missile barrage after missile barrage, getting off powerful sheen-procced auto attacks onto the enemy team to really consistently output damage. And if he ever finds himself locked down by either Vi or Thresh, it's a really dangerous position. But already we can see he's got a lot of protection on that Irelia. He's got sustain from Nami. There's really not going to be that much for just a good kid to worry about unless he finds himself getting caught out by Lulu My Nunu on Vi.
Man, I'm actually kind of disappointed. Fallout Reach, he has been spamming Skarner games. He's been playing a lot of Skarner games in ranked 5s. Not this time, though. We have the Evelynn in the jungle. We'll see how he does with it. Evelynn is a really strong jungler. We saw a ban coming out from it in the first best of 3 we saw. And now we'll be seeing it on Fallout Reach here. So, guys, we're going to be champion select is over. We're all going to get loaded up here into the High School Star League of Legends Season 1 Championships. We have Crescenta Valley High School versus Reseda High School. Second semifinal. Winner of this goes up against the Titans of Cerritos High School. Cerritos, the champions.
The undefeated?
Yeah, the
undefeated
behemoth. Champions. The behemoth.
You ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
No.
They are the final Colossus.
They're the Colossus champions, Cerritos High School. I'm trying to think of more C words. I'm not sure.
It'll certainly
really
make for
good.
very interesting matches, so be sure to tune in tomorrow to catch the winner of this match take on Cerritos High School, and of course the loser participate in the consolation match against Mission San Jose.
Yep. So it's going to be some pretty exciting stuff. So this is actually the quarterfinals rematch.
Semifinals? Oh, this is the quarterfinals rematch, yes.
2-1. It went 2-1 in favor of Crescenta Valley High School, Reseda High School. They want to see if they can fight back. Well, they're out for blood, for revenge. They want to take that back.
They've certainly got the team composition to do it. They've got the hard engage. They've got sustain. If Irelia can find herself onto the back line, if she can catch Kahlua without any sort of protection from Kal-El or Flash, then that's an almost guaranteed kill. Yep. Twitch is just so easy. And, reworked a little bit with the delay to his stealth being changed.
Whoa. Okay, well, we have a bit of an issue getting the picture up on screen. Oh, there we go. Just to say, caster's curse, man. Always happens.
And now we have loaded into the Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a big round of applause for Crescenta Valley High School versus Reseda High School.
Yeah, still in the house, these guys. I mean, Cerritos High School hype is gone, but hey, it's the rematch hype now this time.
Rematch hype indeed, and it looks like Crescenta Valley, they're already feeling a bit bloodthirsty, roaming around the map looking for an early pick, but seems as though they might be spotted by a ward.
Blind hook over the wall.
If they go over the wall, this is dangerous. They see it go down, and with all 5 members available, they're not going to follow up.
Nope, it's just going to be a ward coming out from these guys. Obviously, Trinket wards coming up earlier. So much more useful for early invades, to stop early invades to be exact. So we'll see how these guys do with it. So it's going to be a nice start. Looks like for starting guidance, it's looking pretty standard for pretty much across the map. Lulu middle lane is going to be interesting. Lulu versus Ziggs. What do you think of that matchup?
It's really difficult for both Ziggs and Lulu because Lulu has a lot of poke with that early Glitter Lance, and of course Ziggs has got incredible sustain and wave. Trouble is, Ziggs has some really early mana problems. And unless he gets some support from Fallout Reach that allows him to take an early back, or if he can stay in lane long enough to pick up a quick blue at 7 or 8 minutes, he's going to be bullied out pretty quickly by Lulu, just because Lulu has such an easy time of tossing Harass out onto Ziggs, whereas Ziggs actually has to land it as a skill shot.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it all pans out here. Getting on into the laning phase. Crescenta Valley here, so we'll see what they want to go for. Early ganks coming out. Evelynn obviously really strong in that. Do you think we'll see any early ganks coming out of Fallout Reach or Lulu My Nunu?
Fallout Reach is definitely going to be the one to watch. Evelynn is so excellent at ganking because she has that stealth walk, because she has the ability to get right up onto someone without them noticing and then hit them with red buff and auto attacks and just follow up with some crazy fast damage. It is really, really difficult to see her coming. And just having that champion alone means that Crescenta Valley have got to invest in a lot of pink wards to keep track of where Evelynn is.
Yep, so see how this one pans out. Already some nice damage to Modern Warte. Really taking a lot of it. Kahlua and Wazers really going out of here. So Kahlua is actually a Fail Tail, changed his name. no longer a failed cell. He decided he wants to be Kahlua. And here is some damage coming off. Morte getting low. Ignite is being dropped. Heal is coming off. Kahlua picks up the first blood. And we'll get away with that with a nice, easy first blood coming in. And Wazers, man, just him and Kahlua getting all the poke down.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff from Wazers and Kahlua. Very impressive play, using that really, really early level to advantage. And the death sentence lands.
Oh, there it is. Jessica Kidd is now in trouble. Flay back, flash away with the flash from Kahlua. Gonna pick up the second blood. 2 kills up in that bottom lane. But top lane now we're seeing a game coming up. Fallout Reach is coming in for Flash. Tiger right on the heels. But here comes Lulu by Nunu. Where does he cover? But he flashes in. But they cannot save Flash. Tang picks up the kill. Lulu by Nunu now trying to trade out. He cannot get a kill though. He's too low. Flash and Fallout Reach picks up the kill.
Yeah, some really, really solid play from Tang and Fallout Reach. Tang juking around the Vi, knowing that Vault Breaker on cooldown means that he's safe, especially with the Flash burned in the engage. Really, really patient stuff, and a really quick teleport coming in from Flash to try to see if to follow up. Instead, he's just going to be defending this turret. Really very interesting trading going on. 4 minutes in, and we've already seen 4 kills.
Yeah. Really aggressive starts from these two teams here. And it's interesting because the last games we saw them, quarterfinals, they actually played some pretty slow-paced games and dragged it out, took things slowly, tried to see what objectives they could get. But this time they started out with an explosive start. Kills coming in top and bottom. When will we see kills in middle lane? Looks like we're seeing a lot of poke here, but no kills just yet. And I mean, Ziggs Lulu, what's going to happen?
Yeah, it looks like Sustain is the name of the game for Kal-El and Noggin Whacker. Both of them are focused entirely on rushing that level 6, trying to get ability power so they can be more of an influence in the late game. By continuing to drag this laning phase out, that means they're going to be safe for the time being. Kal-El doesn't have that much to worry about from Evelyn unless he gets caught from behind, which it looks like he just might here. But he's got Flash. He's got a lot of mobility, but without that much mana, he's going to be careful, and Fallout Reach, spotted by the turret, is going to be forced to back off.
Now, oh, okay. Okay, they're not going to fight. So, something interesting to point out, actually, we talked to a bit of Crescenta Valley, and their bottom lane is what they consider to be the strongest lane. They have a lot of synergy coming into it, and they win 99%, probably not an exact number of the lane. 99% they win the lane. Mm-hmm. Not an exact number, though.
That's a pretty impressive number. Yeah. And the fact that there's already 2 kills on Twitch, Noggin Whacker,
middle lane. Noggin Whacker, Ignite is ticking down. He had the heal, though. He's going to be able to survive unless it ticks down. No, it won't. Does survive. Following to try to get the gank down, but middle lane finally saw some action. Noggin Whacker is just eating poke. Yeah,
going deep and allowing him to force Noggin Whacker out of lane. Still with charges on the Crystalline Flask means that Kal-El can farm freely, and so far he's ahead in CS on the Ziggs, but here's Fallout Reach.
Fallout Reach is here to take away Kal-El. Try to get out of here. Try to turn around, see if he can get out. The hate spike's coming in, though. He's so low. Kal-El gonna go down. Fallout Reach jumps in there for the kill. Hook down bottom lane. Wazers, he gets out to Morte. Play back as well. Flash away coming out, and the Valkyrie. Kahlua still trying to get in there. Poison ticking down. Not going to be able to take down Morte.
Very impressive trading so far. Does look like Reseda, they're putting up a fantastic fight. And right now, despite the fact that they're down 300 gold, they're still up in kills. So everywhere that they're lacking, they're making up for it in kills. And by doing so, they're continuing to maintain solid control of the game. That quick 2-0 on Kahlua, though, that's going to be pretty terrifying. If they allow Twitch to continue snowballing, he is going to do some really impressive damage later on.
Yep, so now, I don't know how I didn't even bring this up. Wazers on Thresh, we saw him in the quarterfinals. He was really great on that champion, and he got it again. I completely glossed over this, but surprising to see that he actually got one of his priority champions, one of his strongest champions as well. And actually, one of the quarterfinals games we saw, he actually did help pick up a first blood with the flash hooks coming in. Really huge plays coming out from him. He's on this champion again, and already it's looking pretty good. They're winning some good trades. They got the first 2 kills. It's looking good. However, the rest of the lane's not looking good as they're all 0 and 1. Top, jungle, and bottom.
Flash being burned a bit aggressively there as Wazers. He heard us talking about him, and he said, oh, I got to make a name for myself right now. And unfortunately, it helps if you land your death sentences.
Yeah. I don't think it ever helps if you don't land it.
Well, I mean, if it's an engage you don't want, then you toss out the death sentence and you hope you miss.
All right, I guess. I don't know what kind of tactics you got there, man. Tang though up in top lane, trying to deal with Flash. This is the Aurelia versus Kale. Talking about this, Kale, really strong champion to go up against. Aurelia, though, looks like he's holding his ground. Bottom lane, the kill coming in. Wazzies goes down. The gank coming in, but the tower shots coming out. Wazzies does get the kill. Assault and battery coming in from Lulu, my Nunu. Getting onto Jessica Kid, but the Valkyrie away. But Kalel is actually joining up as well. Getting onto Murder Morte now. He's going to go low. He gets slowed down. He'll be going down. Lulu, my Nunu with the kill.
And just like that, it's 4-4, just barely in favor of Crescenta Valley. But seeing that they got the kill on Fallout Reach and they took out the support, now it is a fantastic time to try to collapse onto the Dragon Pit. Maybe see if they have enough damage. Now, Just a Good Kid is in a pretty good position, but this is not something he wants to contest. Kahlua, with that Bilgewater Cutlass, does some copious amounts of damage, and Lulu Mainunu with the double long swords, also capable of really burning a target really quickly.
Yeah, copious amount of gold going over to them from that. So, nice Dragon pickup for them. Also going to be some really nice to get some gold going for them. Also, finally got a kill onto someone other than the bot lane. Lulu Mainunu picks it up. No, Kalel came down as Lulu came down to assist Lulu Mainunu. No new news there, though, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Would have been perfect. You could have played Jungle Nunu, and we would have just made jokes about that the entire game.
Having the Lulu in the mid lane, though, I really like this.
Yeah.
It's a solid backup for Crescenta Valley. So if Ziggs ever finds himself getting strong, if Evelyn ever gets too strong, heck, even if Irelia ever gets too strong, being able to use the Glitter Lance to use that CC slow to lock down a target and the Wild Growth to keep someone alive, that's really important. As long as Flash can get out sustained auto attacks with that armor and Magic Pen Tread, no matter how bad things get, they should still be able to trade rather favorably. And as it stands, Crescenta Valley are currently in the lead.
Yep, so top lane here, some dueling coming out. 74 CS on the side of Tang right now, so he is actually really holding his own up in this top lane. Those auto cancels, though. Good way to get CS.
Control.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Hashtag calculated.
Yes. And he's doing really well in this top lane, actually, just really picking up the fight against Kale. They've already got a kill on him. So Tang doing really well in this top lane on Aurelia, one of his more played champions, obviously not getting the rise this time, but he has the fallback. Yeah.
Fallout Reach is looking for a gank, but he gets spotted out. Burst of speed to try to catch up to Kahlua, who just takes the Thresh train to safety. Fallout Reach going for yet another gank. He's looking for another kill.
Oh, top lane.
A little bit
Missed
of
the
action.
kill up there. Tang finds one, and hey, we were just talking about this one. Aurelia is doing very well against Kale right now. Tang finds the kill onto Flash.
And just like that, it's 2-0 in that top lane as Tang leads not only in the CS but also in the kills. And actually with Lulu Mainunu pulled up there to force to defend that tier 1 turret, this means we could see some really impressive pressure from Reseda High School, but teleport coming in to the top lane denies anything.
Bottom lane there, we're seeing some action. Clue actually taking a lot of damage there. Ultimate's being thrown out, box as well as Tidal Wave. But no kills coming up, and once again, Follow Reach is looking for a gank. Trying to run his way up into this one, but cannot catch on to anyone. Going to be unsuccessful.
It's 11 minutes in right now, and we do have a small lead in favor of Crescenta Valley. Only about 1,000 gold, but a lot of that is because of that early dragon that Crescenta Valley took.
Follow Reach once again. He's really trying to focus on to this bottom lane here. Flash in, the bubble coming up. Waz just dodges it. Looks like he might be able to get away, and will be able to. Gets away low.
Very impressive stuff from Crescenta Valley, keeping their head, keeping their cool in tough situations. They burned a Flash for nothing.
Yeah.
Walked away with their lives. Now heal is still available on Twitch. So too is Ignite on Kahlua. So once they get back in the lane, they could look to put some damage down.
Yeah.
As there is only a Sheen on Just a Good Kid and just that Frost Fang on Nami, but instead the recall, that's going to help even things out a bit.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think now we can tell that Reseda knows that Crescenta Valley High School, their bottom lane, is the strongest lane, and we're seeing Follow Reach repeatedly trying to come down to that bottom lane, but once again, Wazers and Kahlua staying true to the name of being a tale of success, not a fail tale. And they've just done really good work for the team, getting away from games. They have a lot of pressure down bottom lane, and they're pulling a lot of attention. And Follow Reach finally decides he wants to go somewhere else, goes up to this top lane, possibly looking to push down the tower.
This is a bit of an interesting push out of Fallout Reach and Tang. They did bring Kale low, but intervention, that's going to make it pretty tough to tower dive that Kale. especially with a Vi waiting in the wings. We'll have to see how Lulu Mainunu wants to engage this. If he wants to flash the wall and go in with the Vault Breaker, or if he waits for the Assault and Battery, and instead, he's just going to allow Tang Tang and Fallout Reach to disengage.
So, going to have to back out of there. Top lane 2-0 lead for Tang Tang. He has actually got a pretty aggressive Aurelia build. Double long Doran's Blades coming out. Sheen as well. Berserker Greaves. Probably the most surprising build choice. Just a lot of auto attacks coming out.
I really like the double Sheen coming out. And whoa, Kahlua getting caught. He's going to take that Thresh Lantern once again.
Yep. Nice move coming in. They realized, you know, Thresh isn't there. Support isn't there. Let's go ahead and take him out. Unfortunately, not be able to. Yeah, and there's a lot of people grouping up around the Dragon Pit area. They find Follow Reach with a lot of damage. He's going to go down. Or maybe not. He flashes away. Knockout Whacker's getting focused down. Tied away from behind. They're going for the pincer move. Kaloa goes down. Wazers gets low as well. He threw down the box. It's not enough. Jessica Kid with the kill. Kalala's here. Tang Tang has joined up with the fight. Gets the kill. Forced up on a killing spree. Lulu Mainunu goes down. It's a double kill coming out. And they turn the play around on their heads.
Incredible, incredible play out of Reseda High School. Some amazing control. I don't know where that heal came from, but Noggin Whacker dropped from below 20 health back up to 300. And with that, he was able to survive the auto attack from Kahlua. And with that, we saw the turnaround from Fallout Reach, an enormous Agony's Embrace, catching 4 members of Crescenta Valley, giving him a huge shield in which he was able to just sit in the enemy team, toss out Hate Spike after Hate Spike, and then the teleport from Tang Tang.
Yeah, and not to mention, Jessica Kid, Mortar Morte came in from behind. They came up from the bottom lane. They trapped them inside of the river. Enemies on both sides. Tidal Wave came across. He just couldn't do anything about it. AoE from Corki. They shredded them down. And a huge move there coming out from Reseda High School. I mean, they said, we think we can take the victory against them. And, you know, they're definitely showing that they have the ability to.
Yeah, they're in a very commanding position to do so, leading 2,000 gold. And while we do have the Dragon freshly respawning in Crescenta Valley, immediately making a beeline for it, Reseda, they know that it's happening. Just a Good Kid is working his way towards the pit, but they have to get Evelyn in there. Here's Fallout Reach.
Yep, Dragon will be going down though. Crescenta Valley trapped inside of the Baron Pit. They're trying to get out of here. Fallout Reach goes in though. He's doing some damage. Lulu Mainunu, the Mega Inferno Bomb comes across. Wazis goes down. Kahlua is trapped inside of the pit. Tang Tang takes him down for a double kill. Now they find Kalala as well. He's trying to get out of there, but it is Reseda High School cleaning up yet again another team fight.
Really, really impressive stuff. The Mega Inferno Bomb was enormous, catching 3 members of Crescenta Valley for some crazy, crazy damage. And the just finished Trinity Force on Corki meant that he could just sit there, toss out barrage after barrage, more and more damage onto Crescenta Valley. And with that, the Dragon is going to go over to Crescenta Valley, but at the cost of 4 members of their team. So while they get a good 1,500 gold, they're still down 3,000 gold, and that number could very well increase as Just a Good Kid is pressuring the bottom, and there's a very large minion wave in the top.
Yep, however, we're going to be seeing Wazers and Kahlua coming up here. So team fights, man, they really won out their laning phase, but coming into the team fights, the pressure coming out from Tang Tang and Fallout Reach, they just dive in there. And they really just picked it up there. They got trapped inside of the Dragon Pit, could not get out of there. Kahlua, pretty much the one that was trapped in with Tang Tang, could not do anything about it. And Tang Tang was just an easy kill for him. He's 5-0-2 now on this Aurelia. He is going really strong on this champion now.
Yeah, and that was Irelia's dream right there. Catching an enemy AD carry in a corner with nowhere to escape to. That is what every Irelia can only hope for.
Any bruiser.
Yeah. Just finding the AD carry in a tough position. And with that, Kahlua, completely isolated from his team and without flash, ended up having to sacrifice himself. Some really, really impressive play from Reseda. They've really brought their rotations and their team fights together in this match.
Yeah, they're just really playing so well together now. So we'll see where it takes them. 1 tower up now, middle, bottom lane, fairly low. Top lane, you know, have some work to do, but Tang Tang could probably just easily take that one down. You know, next fight they come in. Probably just take that one down. He is so strong right now on this Aurelia. Building up that Trinity Force very soon. Has the Phage finished up now as well.
I can't believe that it's only 17 minutes in and a single turret has fallen.
Trinity Force is finished with Just a Good Kid as well. So there.
It's really fantastic. He actually had that for the fight at Dragon. That's what enabled him to get out so much damage onto Crescenta Valley.
Chaos as well from Mortar Morte. Obviously pretty standard item build for a support nowadays. You're seeing one being built up for Wazers, but it is just so working out with the 2 heals they have. Nami has some heals as well. Added the Mikhail's Crucible.
I'm kind of confused, however, by Reseda High School's play. They're ahead in kills, they're ahead in turrets, but they're still playing passively and defensively. They're getting they're doing some fantastic rotations. They're doing a great job of countering plays from Crescenta Valley, but they seem to be playing reactively. And if they're always going to be on the back foot, how can they ever expect to press forward?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this earlier. We touched on it earlier when we realized, hey, this is a really aggressive game, but now we're seeing the slow gameplay from both teams starting to creep in. Reseda High School, even though they're in the lead, they're playing very cautiously. What we see from them a lot in the quarterfinals games, and now we're seeing it here being reflected in the semifinals, even with the huge lead that they have.
Looks like we could be seeing a gank come out from Fallout Reach, who's clearing a ward. He's going to have to be careful.
He is in trouble.
He gets locked down.
They get some CC going down the box, coming in. They dive right onto him. So many ultimates being burned. Kahlua with the kill, and they just burned everything there.
And take a look at how Crescenta Valley are going to respond off of this. Immediately collapsing onto that tier 1 turret. A 4-man push. And even while this is happening, Flash is defending the mid lane from Ziggs. So there is very little that Reseda can do to try to get anything off of this. This is a really smart play that's going to give a lot of map control back over to Crescenta Valley. Yes, they're down 7 kills, but they're making powerful plays that are allowing them to stay in this game.
Yeah, and they capitalized on the plays that they made. Taking down the kill, immediately go for the tower, as you said, and it's just, as you're saying, really good movements from them. And that's just kind of what they need to win the game. Doesn't matter that behind in kills, as long as they can keep doing that, it could go well for them. But middle lane, we are seeing the push. Tank has to back out, though. They do get some nice damage onto that middle tower, but still, top and bot, towers are untouched.
Lulu Mainunu just trying to reclaim some map vision. With the dragon spawning in about a minute and a half, that is a very vital bush to have control of, just so there isn't an Evelyn magically appearing out of nowhere. Being able to control and see whether or not that this is an engage you want is really big. And while we do have Just a Good Kid and Morta Muerte trying to take a tier 1 in the bottom, I don't think they're going to be able to. Just a Good Kid has the damage, but if he gets engaged upon, it's a tough position, and the turret is going to fall, but immediately Reseda back off.
Yeah, they're trying to regroup. They want to focus on the dragon. I think Lulu Mainunu taking some damage to Noggin Whacker. Needs to be a bit careful, but that was some really nice boat coming out. He's 2-0-5. Has some nice items. As we saw, chunk him down. Top tower finally falls. Tank finally pushes it down.
Yeah, and with that top turret finally going down, this is actually going to allow Tank to start roaming around the map a little bit more, putting more pressure onto other turrets and rotating with his team. He is absolutely vital to the team composition for Reseda High School because he's the front line. He's the bruiser who gets into the back line of the enemy team. He tries to collapse him, but here's Kal-El.
Oh, Kal-El gets away here. He's pretty low under the tower. Had a nice wild growth to get out. Had to burn the flash as well. The middle lane tower does fall after almost pick up there. They pick up a lot of health, and they do get the tower down.
And good pickup from Reseda High School. That means that they're ahead 3 turrets. They're up 7 kills, but they're only up by about 3,000 gold. A lot of this is because of the dragon control from Crescenta Valley High School. They have had complete and total control over the dragon pit for the majority of the game, and now the dragon has actually just respawned. This is the first time that that isn't the case, and immediately we can see Fallout Reach making a beeline for the pit.
So we'll be seeing what they can do about this one. First 2, I believe, went over to Crescenta Valley. So now it's Reseda's turn to go ahead and start this one up, and pretty much Crescenta Valley not even around to take this one. They have 2 members up in the top lane looking for a tower push, and they'll just let this dragon go. So it's secured by Reseda High School with some nice bit of gold going over to them, 4,000 up. However, top lane, we're going to be seeing a push coming out, a 3-man push as Kal-El, Flash, and Lulu Mainunu are going to look to take this one down. But meanwhile, middle lane, we're going to be seeing the push as well coming out from Reseda High School.
Yeah,
and
trouble
Crescenta
is,
Valley.
when you make a beeline for the enemy base, it's usually important to have someone sit back and defend your own base. There's a Ziggs, Corki, and an Irelia shoving an inhibitor turret. They're going to take it down completely uncontested because Crescenta Valley got the wrong rotation. They said, look, Reseda is at the Dragon Pit. Where do we go? We can't take mid. All right, let's go top. The moment they showed themselves on the map, Reseda High School made a beeline down the mid lane, took the inhibitor turret for completely free. And sieging that inhibitor turret, clearing that up for them, opens the gate later on. Once they decide to start sieging objectives and start looking for that inhibitor, they're not going to have anything to worry about.
Yeah, Reseda High School, they played reactively that time, but that time it was a very good reaction. And it was just, as you're saying, a huge misstep coming up from the side of Crescenta Valley High School. They could have easily just had 1 or 2 people push that tower, but they had 5 members running up there. Just really not a smart move coming out from them, and they lost the tower for it. And it's a very important tower, inhibitor tower, as mid is all the way pushed in. They are behind on towers 2-5 right now, behind on gold, behind on kills. They just can't afford to make mistakes like that.
Yeah, and it is only about a 4,000 gold lead in favor of Reseda High School. 23 minutes in, game number 1 between Crescenta Valley and Reseda High School. Reseda High School making some very excellent reactions. And here's Kalua being dived on by Tang Tang.
Oh, man,
he immediately drops heal.
Yep, he's going to be getting onto him. So much damage coming off. Kalua cannot run away. Tang Tang with the kill. Picks it up with the ultimates. Lulumai Nunu is here, though. Goes in with the assault and battery. Flash is coming in as well. Waz is, too. They're trying to get revenge for their fallen friend. Cannot find it. Tang Tang walks out of it.
Yeah, an excellent play from Tang Tang, finding Twitch on his own and dropping the immediate ignite to gain vision despite the stealth. And the rest of Reseda collapse onto the Baron pit. Now, Kal-El is in position to try to counter this, but they're going to have to be really careful if they want to try to work themselves into the pit.
Wow, so the Baron is going to be going down low. Follow Reach going down low as well. He's actually getting a little bit too low. Tidal Wave being forced out. They have lost the jungler. He's too low to get in the pit. Kalal, meanwhile, on the outside, trying to run some interference. Picks up a kill onto Just a Good Kid. The rest of the team is coming in here. The Baron is secure, but Follow Reach will be falling. Lulumai Nunu is here, but he cannot find anything. Waz is the one who finds the kill to Tang Tang. They take down 3 members of Reseda High School. Now only 2 of them have Baron buff.
Yeah, a fantastic play from Crescenta Valley, just stalling out at the Baron pit long enough to make sure that they took enough damage so that when the fight broke out afterwards, they were able to just dive in, pick off the squishy targets, the Glitter Lance, bringing down Just a Good Kid and bringing down Tang Tang. Absolutely enormous. Those two are some really big powerhouses, and not having their damage meant that Reseda High School couldn't fight even if they wanted to. And they don't have Baron buff.
Yeah, so Reseda High School, very risky trade right there, obviously, and didn't pan out exactly well. Follow Reach probably took a little bit too much damage, and they kind of started out the Baron down Tang Tang, unfortunately, and he's probably the strongest member of the team to tank that Baron. Didn't have him there, and it was just Follow Reach a little bit too squishy.
Follow Reach doing an excellent job of trying to shut down any carry that he can find, but for the time being, he's just providing himself as a tanky frontliner. Finding a target out of position, getting good Agony's Embrace to try to lock a target down long enough to allow the rest of his team to do damage. And with this Randuin's Omen, that's exactly what he's going to be doing. 25 minutes in. Looks like Reseda High School are still leading for now, but
yeah,
Crescenta Valley are putting up an excellent fight.
Yeah, pretty close game coming off from these 2 teams here. You know, as you could guess, they went 2-1 quarterfinals, and as we keep saying, Reseda High School wants to come back into it, and they are just looking really strong in this game right now. But of course, one misstep, and it could all fall to pieces. They already made a few missteps this game. Both teams have really just been making a few mistakes, but overall, some really good heads-up plays. Now we'll be seeing the siege onto the inhibitor. Trying to go in here. Inhibitor's going to get poked down a lot here. They do have to disengage. One of which actually has to flash away. Wazers gets caught up in a tidal wave and some damage. Tidal wave being blown pretty early in that fight.
Yeah, this is a really difficult siege for RHS to take. Yes, the inhibitor turret is gone, but they have to wedge themselves in through a really tight choke. And if they get caught out by any major AoE, that's going to be really dangerous. And finally, they're going to be able to go in and take that inhibitor down at the cost of Mortemuerte's flash and ultimate, just because it was a little bit too far forward. Now, the only 2 people with Baron buff are Noggin Whacker and Mortemuerte, as Tang Tang, Good Kid, and Fallout Reach all ended up dying at that Baron pit. So with that inhibitor, Reseda High School, they're going to be able to breathe a nice, solid sigh of relief. They've got control over the middle lane. Those super minions are going to shove all the way to the Nexus. They can start worrying about other objectives, like Dragon, like bottom and top.
So now, with the objective take there, they'll go back, pick up a few items, really just get strong items coming out from Trinity Force, finished up on Tang Tang a while ago. Now he wants to go for that tanky item build. So he's not full AD. He goes for Berserker's Greaves just to get some attack speed going, and now he'll be falling back. It looks like a Randuin's Omen possibly coming out from him, as well as, you know, maybe Banshee's Veil of Spirit Visage. Not too sure. But, you know, he has the means to, and he just wants to go for some tanky so he can get into that back line, get on top of an AD carry, and just take them down.
Now, I really love what Crescenta Valley are doing with their team composition. they've got a really solid front line with Kale using the intervention to keep a target alive, with Vi building tanky with that Locket of the Iron Solari, even with Kal-El going for pure ability power to get the maximum value for that wild growth and keep a target alive. They're focused on long, sustained engages that are going to just wear RHS down. If they can catch RHS in a tight corner like that tiny choke leading to the inhibitor, then that's going to be huge. And looks like RHS want to, again, siege yet another turret. This might be a fight that CVHS want to take.
Yeah, so they'll be grouping up around it. Baron buff's down, obviously, so it definitely could be one that they want to go for. They need to make a play, obviously. They have a tower for it. There's a nice hook on the Murder Morte, but they do not want to go in.
Even got the casters hyped out here as I immediately dropped the teamfight UI, and it doesn't happen. But the siege is going to continue for the time being. There's a consistent amount of sustain on Noggin Whacker, who's putting on some fantastic control. For the time being, the siege will continue. Crescenta Valley, they're just waiting for the right moment to try to collapse, but just cannot find the right engage. They caught Mortar Muerte, where they really need to be looking to catch Noggin Whacker or Just a Good Kid.
Yeah. Very important to take them down. Obviously, the two squishiest members on the team. The two that are going to be doing a lot of damage. Wazes, man, he's just getting poked down. And they make the siege onto the second tower. Minions are pushing in onto the middle lane. I mean, at least for Crescenta Valley, they have a nice big wave up at top lane. But right now, not going to make too much of a difference. Reseda High School are just sitting at the base, trying to get that poke down. With Corky and Zig, they have a lot of it.
There's a lot of sustain, surprisingly, as well. Having that Nami to be able to drop the ebb and flow to keep targets alive is really important. And now this could very well be another inhibitor turret going down, and immediately CVHS, they look to try to find a pick, and they're not going to find it.
Yeah, they are just not able to do anything about this siege right here. They're just moving into quickly. Reseda High School take down these towers, and they just look at the health bars on the side of Crescenta Valley High School. They're just getting poked down at this point. A team fight is a very bad idea because of how low they are. They go for it though. Hook out the Tank Tank, making front of with Tidal Wave come across and destroy the back line. They continue in here. Tank Tank finds a kill into Lumai Nunu. They get in. Follow Reach goes down as well. Kal-El Flash and Kahlua have to go back to the base. Inhibitor has fallen in the bottom lane. And Reseda High School, they just make huge plays there.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Now we could have Noggin Whacker getting caught out. He's going to be finally sniped, giving him his first kill of the game over to Kal-El. But that was just Wazers finding the death sentence, but on the wrong person. He caught Tank Tank.
Yeah.
That's the tanky frontliner. And despite the assault and battery going all the way back to Noggin Whacker, he immediately dropped his Sapsel Charge, disengaged from Vi, and both Thresh and Vi paid for their engagements with their lives.
Yeah, on the side of Reseda High School, Tidal Wave and Megan Frennemom just come across, and just so much AoE damage coming in from them. Tank Tank, Follow Reach able to dive into that back line, and Tank Tank, man, 7-1-3. He is so scary. I would expect to see, like, possibly an Aurelia ban coming up next game.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job this time around. He is feeling so comfortable on a champion that he knows and loves with a 10 KDA, completing the Trinity Force, building up a Frozen Heart because who needs health, and a Spectre's Cowl for additional magic resist. There's really not that much that Tank Tank needs to worry about. Now, we're 31 minutes in. Reseda High School have taken out one inhibitor in the mid lane and another inhibitor in the bottom lane. That's the best possible inhibitor for them to tank, as Baron has just respawned. So with Super Minions continuing to pressure in the bottom lane, that means that someone from Crescenta Valley have got to be there at all times. So if Reseda want to start a fight at Baron, this is going to be a fantastic time, and that's exactly what they're doing.
So, Baron once again going down for Reseda. This time they have the full 5, and this time they're taking it down fairly quickly here. However, Waz is right on the outside. Here's the engage coming in though. Wild Growth, Mega in front of him, being dropped. Jessica Kid getting dived on by Lumai Nunu. They try to peel him away. Kaluma goes down. Actually, Lumai Nunu does go down. Could not find the back line, but it's Kal-El who gets a kill as well. Waz is going low. Rocket's not enough. Tank Tank though flashes in, now chasing after Flash, who flashes over that wall to get away. But no! The bomb over the wall. The bouncing bomb finds the kill.
And Reseda High School aren't done yet. Just a Good Kid and Noggin Whacker, the two main carries who survived that entire fight, are going to make a rush for the inhibitor. And that was some fantastic control from Reseda High School. The amount of protection dropped to keep Just a Good Kid alive was huge. He was taking the brunt of Lumai Nunu's damage. He was taking the brunt of Kal-El's damage. And with that, he was able to survive, dropping down to below 50 health. And he's not done yet. They're continuing to look for more turrets.
Yeah, they take down the Nexus Tower. Kal-El Go over to Kalal. He is backing over right next to the enemy base right now. He just got chased all the way away. Nexus Tower is going to fall low. About half health. Last Nexus Tower remaining there, and that was just Reseda High School really coming back into that fight really well. Got a lot of kills coming in. Nice bouncing bomb with the ball from Nagenwacker. And they know what they want. They need the objectives. They rush straight middle lane. They say, hey, we can take the inhibitor, but wait, we can also take a Nexus Tower. But wait, there's more.
But wait.
There's more.
Billy May is here.
Nexus Towers, take them.
Generally a good thing. It's now 33 minutes in. And it is still only a very slight gold lead in favor of Reseda High School. Now Tang, he's looking for Kal-El, but is going to disengage the moment he sees Vise around the corner. He's a really, really solid duelist right now. He came in late to the fight with the rest of his team and was still able to dissuade the rest of Crescenta Valley from chasing onto Nagenwacker and Just a Good Kid. That's how scary he is.
Yeah,
13 KDA.
So scary. Frozen Heart finished up, as you're saying. No, Random Endowment, not as good anymore, obviously, so it's a little bit of a smarter choice, I believe. Also goes for a Banshee's Veil, so he's going to tanky stats in there. Also a Giant's Belt. We'll see what he decides to go with that, because there's quite a few items he could go for. I would expect like maybe a Sunfire's Cape, but we'll see how it plays out. Top lane now going to get sieged in here. Inhibitor in middle and bottom are obviously still down. Never mind. Bottom inhibitor is back up. So we'll be seeing some pressure onto there. And Reseda High School, they just stick up to this top lane, wanting to go for this.
And they are going to take this tier 2 turret no problem. And yes, it is a relatively small difference in gold between these teams, only about 8,000. But the complete map control coming out for Reseda High School is huge. They have got nothing to worry about. Even if they lose a solid ace here, they've got all of their tier 2s. They've got all of their inhibitor turrets. Baron is alive, but it's nothing that they can't overcome if the enemy team takes it.
Yeah.
There's an enormous buffer for Reseda High School to continue taking objectives. And if they can't siege another inhibitor, why not take the naked one in the bottom lane? Tang already roaming down. He's going to pick that up.
Yep, they cycle down to that bottom lane. Easy inhibitor grab for them. Was already pretty low from the minions pushing in. And now two waves of super minions once again are pushing in. Really looking good here. So now they're getting the siege onto the Nexus this time. Man, that bouncing bomb doing damage, doing wonders here. And they just have the strongest siege, really.
Yeah, there's an amazing siege composition from Reseda High School that's allowing them to take objective after objective, and they are just inching themselves closer and closer to victory. Now, they haven't secured it just yet. Crescenta Valley have got an excellent team composition if they can get a sustained engage and really wear down Good Kid or Nagenwacker. But man, Morta Muerte is putting out so much survivability with that ebb and flow, in addition to the Mikhail's Crucible for the CC cleanse.
Yep, so once again, right back up to that top lane, and possibly back because, is Baron live actually? Yeah, Baron is live right now. So they want to go for that Baron.
And super minions are splitting. So again, Reseda High School bring us back to the exact same situation we saw 5 minutes ago. They're going to force a fight at the Baron pit, while the super minion split push down at the Nexus turret. Question is, this time, do they have the control to take a more favorable engage?
Oh, they're looking for a bait possibly here. They haven't started it up. They're just trying to bait and delay Crescenta Valley because super minions are pushing into the base. So Crescenta Valley, they have to give up the Baron, but they have to go defend their base, and looks like the choice is defend their base. The minions are already pushing in right now, and they have decided to all fall back to the base to defend it. Reseda High School, really smart move there to delay the Baron for them to take, and Crescenta Valley High School has to stick around for a little bit longer. So Tower's going to be taking a little bit more damage. They cleared a lot of minions here. Middle inhibitor just respawned, so it looks like Reseda High School will be making the beeline for that after taking that Baron. Yeah,
Reseda High School are just increasing their stranglehold on Crescenta Valley. It seems as though every time Crescenta Valley get a little bit of breathing room, their inhibitor respawns, they get a turret, it's immediately collapsed upon by Reseda High School. Now 37 minutes in,
Morta Muerte coming in onto 3 from Morta Muerte solo. Luma Ninu gets onto Nagenwacker. Just a Kid has to disengage. Luma Ninu is in there with no follow-up. He gets destroyed. Kalel following up as well. Follow reach gets low. Does go down in the back line. Flash was one with the kill, but he throws down the intervention. Kahlua going in for some damage. He gets taken down. Kills coming in. A double kill coming out for Nagenwacker as well for Just a Good Kid. A double kill coming in for Flash, but the Nexus is exposed. The inhibitor has been taken down, and the Nexus is taken down by the super minions. Reseda High School pick up the victory.
Really, really impressive play from Reseda High School. Morna Muerte getting caught, but he was able to survive the initial burst, keep both Noggin Whacker and Just a Good Kid alive, and Tank and Fallout Reach doing exactly what they were meant to do. Getting in the front line, soaking hit after hit, keeping Noggin Whacker and Just a Good Kid alive. And while everyone else ended up dying over the course of the fight, as long as the carries are alive, they're able to do enough damage to end up bringing down the Nexus. And just like that, Reseda High School take game number 1 over Crescenta Valley after losing to them in the quarterfinals.
So it looks like we'll have a very interesting best of 3 coming up for you guys here. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll be throwing it over to a bit of an analyst desk to get some analysis over from that last game. And we'll be getting on to game 2 of the best of 3. Quarterfinals rematch in the semifinals here. Crescenta Valley High School versus Reseda High School. Guys, this is the High School Star League League of Legends Grand Finals. Don't go anywhere.